G'day people and welcome, I'm Sharyn. Today I'm applying a waistband to my zipper front trousers. I begin by applying iron-on interfacing to the entirety of the waistband, and then I overlock or serge down one long edge. The waistband is then folded in half so that the two edges come together and it's pressed. That's about as secret as all the waistband stuff is. The rest of it is just applying it to the pants. If you were around recently to see my video on putting a zip into a trouser front, then you'll know that I use a zip that is too long. And that means that most of the time when I'm sewing, that zip pull is well out of the way. One of the advantages of that is that when I get to the point of doing my waistband, as I'm doing today, I can easily place a mark on the front of both the overlap and the underlap that's even. And in doing that, it makes it easier for me to get my waistband even on both sides of the front. I want to make sure both sides of the waistband come onto this at the same level. And if you look at the top, you can see one side is higher than the other. So by putting a mark there, then hopefully I can get these things laid together. I made that mark with the zip done up, which means that these things should be a good level. My fly front, I'm now going to undo the zip, and I'm going to start on the left side, because preferably I always want less fabric on the right than on the left. Here's my waistband. It has got the fold down the middle, and I trimmed it off at the edge of the interfacing. I want to start sewing right on that point there where the mark is, and I can see that that cut edge of the fabric is on the 5/8. I'm going to put my fabric in. In order to make things as easy as possible for me, I'm going to stitch with the edge of the waistband at the edge of my foot, and I've made it a long stitch because I would like to be able to move things if I need to. If you're ever in a situation where you're sewing something and you're not 100% sure that you're going to get it right, do it with a long stitch first. Much easier to pull out if it's wrong, but you can just stitch over it again if it's right. I know this side was a little bit longer, and I'm going to make adjustments for that. So I'm coming around to my side seam now. My left back dart facing towards the centre back. I'm coming up towards my back seam here, and the left side has ended up a bit higher than the right side, so I'm going to fudge things so that I come down in the right place for the right side. I've got that seam open. Fudging things like that in sewing is perfectly valid. There's my right back dart. As long as I'm keeping the foot about the right place on the waistband isn't part of the fudging. It's the pant that is actually part of the fudge bit. This is right back to right front. Once again, a little bit of fudging. there's my mark on the fabric. I want to bring the needle through that mark. And I think I'm probably pretty good there. And then I just keep carrying on past the zip and past the zip guard. So how did I go? It's probably hard for you to see, but in fact I can just see the edge of that pencil mark. So I've got that about right on that side, and it looks like it's about right on that side. And when I do the zipper up, they do in fact pretty much meet up. Having just done that seam with a very long stitch, I actually do want it to be better stitched together than that, so I'll do it again, but with a shorter stitch length. I've now pressed that seam up into the waistband, and I can cut the ends of the zip off. I want to finish this end, and I'm going to fold it backwards on the fold that I made before. What the waistband is doing, it's going down to the seam where it was joined to the pant, and then it's coming up, folding back on itself to come back down, so that fold at the top is halfway across, and on the other side same thing. So it's coming back down and meeting up pretty much where the one from the front is. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, but it's better if it's like this one and a little bit lower rather than going past where the front of the waistband is. I'm going to sew it from up at the top, but I don't want to sew too close to that edge because I've got to allow fabric to get around the edge. I'm going to start with a longish stitch, and I want to see how I've done. Now hopefully you can see that's a little bit away from that fabric. When I take these pins out, which I normally wouldn't have them all in here, this is going to get folded, and I am going to cut some of it off. I am not going to cut a corner here. I'm going to fold it and grab hold of that corner and turn it into the right way. There's a bit of an overlap there. Whether I care about that is up to me. That's not you have to do it a particular way. Nobody's going to see it inside my pants, so the way that it will look eventually is like that, with this overlocked edge down, and there will be a line of stitching. On the right side, that's how it's going to look, and I'm sure you can see that's quite a nice finish there, because I left enough fabric before I did my seam for it to actually curl around the edge. So I can go in there now and stitch that with a shorter stitch. I'm going to cut it off with about a centimetre, maybe 3/8 of an inch. There. Fold it over, grab hold of that corner and push the corner through. And because that corner gets pushed through and it's still all there, it's still square, you get a nice corner. As I say, I'm not really perturbed about that little bit of fabric there. If I want to, I can pull things down and cover it a bit better, but it's not really that important to me. Because I've got a zipper guard on my underlap, I can do that kind of end at both ends, but I'm going to show you what you would need to do if you need to put an extension on a waistband to give you some space to put a button. If I hadn't made a zipper guard at this end, I would need to add an extra bit of fabric for my button to go onto. So once again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half. That's the stitching line from when I sewed the waistband onto the pant. I haven't got it on the other side, but I have got it on that one. And at this end, start sewing on that line close to where the pant finishes. Make it as long as you need the extra to be. Turn. So I'm adding that much extra. Cut it off. This one I'm actually going to cut some off it because I don't want that many extra layers in the corner, but I don't need to cut it off here. Fold, fold, grab them from inside, which is awfully difficult to do when you're filming, and turn them through. And I will gently push it out with the scissors. And this is the bit where I have cut some off. And see a corner where I didn't cut anything off is actually a really sharp corner. It's hard to actually get the ones as good when you've got pieces cut off them. So as often as I can, I try to avoid cutting things off. And that is how that one would finish if I needed to add an extension. The final thing I need to do is stitch this down. And in doing it, I need to make sure that all of those seams are pushed up into the waistband. Beginning at the left front, which could be your overlap or your underlap, depending how you've done it. If you've done it like a jeans front, it will be the overlap. I'm going to sew in the ditch. If you have a ditch quilting foot, which I do not for this particular machine, that will probably help. So as I sew along, I'm making sure that the seam is going up into the waistband and I'm just stitching in that ditch. I don't need to do it as a particularly small stitch, and in a lot of ways it's better if it isn't really small, because if I ever need to undo it in the future, it will be easier for me if it's a fairly long stitch. I'm putting a bit of pressure on front and back, even pressure, because it helps to make sure that the pieces stay on the side that I want them to be on. If I go very slightly onto the waistband, I'm not worried about it, because in this particular case I will be wearing something that will be covering the waistband anyway. If your thread is a good match, this won't show up very much anyway. Even if you do stray a bit, it will be less visible if you stray onto the low side than the high side. Now there's a bit of thread hanging out. I'm just going to tuck that into the waistband. And I'm going to do a few stitches backwards and forward, remembering that these will be in the underlap. It's actually on the zipper guard, they'll never be seen. Before I finish off the thread from the beginning, I'm just going to zip it up and make sure the waistband matches up there and it's equal at the top, which it is. So now I will take that thread through to the back and tie it off. If I'm worried about it, I can do a few hand stitches here to tidy this up. It's not something that bothers me, nobody's looking inside my pants there. The only things left to do are sew on the buttonhole and do the hems. Once I've finished my pants, nobody is ever going to be looking at the inside of them. The functional bit is what they're like outside, and that's mostly to do with fit. As you get better at doing the fit, the pants will look better on the outside. You probably also get a bit better at how they look on the inside. But I hope this has shown you that putting zips in doesn't need to be a big palaver. It's actually fairly straightforward to do. I'm going to be wearing my pants to a specific event in a few weeks' time, and I'm glad they're finished and I've got that ticked off my list. In the meantime, I hope you've learned something, and I will see you next time.